Well, I've been asked to talk about night warrior work, and what is night warrior work, or how do I know if I've had work at night, and what does all that mean? Well, there's some simple questions to help you understand if this is something that you're participating in. You know, our bodies, they need rest. They have to have some downtime. We call that sleep. But our souls don't need rest, so it goes out and it has a whole nother life. Some of that life is other dimensions and other realities. Some of us are actually out there doing battle, and we're working very hard because we're warriors, and we're warriors in helping the energies of this planet come into this planet the way it was designed to, and that there's another force that's trying to stop us. And you've heard of Earth being a plane of duality, of this being a reality where we have love and hate, we have fear, we have love, we have, black, we have white, we have all of those things that are one end of the spectrum or the other, designed to help us have experience, because that's all Earth is a place for us to have experience. So night warriors are people who are working with the balance and allowing this consciousness to evolve the way it chooses to. There's something called the morphogenic grid, and the morphogenic grid is a wonderful plane of existence. It's one of the many grid systems that travel around the Earth, and what it does is it affects consciousness. What I mean by it affects consciousness, it means that everything that helps raise or lower the overall consciousness or evolution of this planet resides within the morphogenic grid. And there's a battle of sorts for the morphogenic grid. There is a need for the grid to either evolve or to de-evolve or go back in time, like we've done other times. People might be interested in the stories of Atlantis and whether those were really true stories or just myths. Well, Atlantis was a time when the evolution, the consciousness of this planet was very high. They misused their power. They, instead of evolving to the next level, they de-evolved. They blew up their society, their world as they knew it. They went through a period of darkness where they had to make other choices to grow and to experience. Because once again, that's all Earth is a place to have experiences. So how do you know if you're a night warrior? Well, here's some questions. Do you feel beat up in the morning? Do you wake up with bruising? Are you tired after sleeping all night? Does your physical body feel injured in the morning, but when you went to sleep, you felt just fine? Do you remember fighting or engaging in battles at night? My favorite is, do you know that you have some kind of injury that there is no rational explanation for? For an example, I have a very close friend who was having a lot of trouble with her foot. She could not understand why the heel of her foot was hurting so bad until we took her back to the moment when she injured it. And I thought it was going to be stepping on a rock or, something that would be easily understood. Now, she had all of the same questions asked to her, and she did have memories of fighting at night, and she did wake up exhausted each day, and she wound up going back to a period of time that was not anything that was in her conscious awareness, but it was a battle, and a battle where she was coming back into her physical body, coming back through dimensions, and she'd been hit by a sword. Well, as soon as we did psychic surgery on her heel, meaning that we went in and treated it like we would any other wound, we went in and we cleaned it, we stitched it, we set healing energy into it, she was healed. Now, she had been to a lot of doctors trying to find the physical cause of why her foot, her heel, hurt her. But within a day or two of doing the psychic surgery, she was well. And, the doctors that had been working on it couldn't quite figure out why. So how do you protect yourself? How do you go out into the night work mostly unaware that you're going out into the night work and take care of yourself? That's one of the most common questions I get when I talk with people. And we have weekly, monthly groups in our home and around the metro area, and now over the internet and through teleconferencing with different groups of people who know that they're out there doing night work, and they always have the same question: how do I take care of myself? Well, the best way you can do it is to use your intention to set up your workspace, meaning that before you go out into your night work, when you're putting your body down to sleep, you're going to intend that you're going to come back, and you're going to come back safely. The physical body comes back intact. I like to use clear light. There is no polarity for clear light. A lot of people like to use white light. I like to use clear light. I use clear light as a means of protecting myself, so that when I go out into the environment of my night work, that I'm going to go out there protected in clear light so that I'm safe. That I'm going to remember what I need to know about the night work so that I can be present in my world, my everyday world, and know as much of it as I can remember so that it makes sense when I have an injury. Many people make an armor. They ask their angels for protection. They do, as I said, surgery to keep themselves healthy. That they test their body in the morning so that they can find out whether or not they have any injuries. We all have different jobs at night. They're all really important. Some of us have to go out and do battle. Some of us go out and we work on grid systems. We help the energy of the planet raise. We work on the morphogenic field that I talked about in such a way as to actually anchor in the lights and the energy so there can be evolution. Most people do not realize they're going out to do night work, battle or otherwise. But we choose it because our soul has so many different jobs and our soul doesn't sleep. So our body chooses its night work based on what it does. I've said in the past that part of my work is to help consciousness evolve. So much of what I do in my night work is very much in alignment with that, even though it is partly connected to the different battles that sometimes arise out there, especially when there are doorways coming into alignment. Because those doorways that we all hear about are in some way anchoring energies into that morphogenic grid because the consciousness of this planet has asked to evolve. Remember, it's our intention. It's our intention that keeps us safe at night. That's the biggest piece. You know, sometimes we're very exhausted after waking up because most times we've been traveling from dimension to dimension. And the change in vibration that our soul has to go through, that vibration becomes lighter and lighter the farther away we come from Earth. But when we come back, we have to integrate and we have to be able to take that really light energy and be able to change it, integrate it right back into this heavier energy again. And sometimes we get a little fragmented or we get a little, it's just hard for us to integrate that energy back in. So we come back and we find ourselves that because we've been traveling different dimensions, excuse me, that we're exhausted because we're going from really heavy to really light to really heavy again. And it's a lot for our bodies to have to process, that different frequency, that different vibration. Sometimes we have to go out there and we have to get another part of ourselves as part of our night work because we've had a hard time making that transition. And so we don't fully integrate back. We don't bring all of us back in. Our soul becomes trapped kind of in a moment in a denser vibration. And maybe that's why some of the days that we come back and we're so exhausted, we don't feel like we're whole and complete because our energy is still not fully back in our body. We haven't fully integrated all of that light energy from those various dimensions back into our physical body, which is that heavy, dense energy. Some of the other things that we know about being out in our night work is some of us do gatekeeping work, some of us help other souls and we bring them to the places where they can be. All of this is part of the cleanup crew, if you will, of making sure that all of the souls go to where they can be the most effective and do the best job that they can. Soul keepers gather up lost souls and they keep them safe until they can find a gateway to release them back to God, back to spirit, back to the next level where they can be. Staying healthy on all levels means that we keep our personal vibration really high and really clear. Use your armor, use your intention, use clear light, because we have to stay healthy to be able to do our night work as well as be able to do our day work. We are living multidimensional. All of us are multidimensional beings. We do a variety of things. We do things so that we can help Earth and our own lives simultaneously. If you have any questions about night work, whether or not you are experiencing some of the things that I've talked about, you're welcome to contact me through my website at heartandhomehealing.com.